and the fact that it was bad. It wasn't the fact that Cameron was a nobody that really couldn't wrestle, and AJ Lee was dealt a really awful hand.
Yeah, I really feel bad for.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get into the next one. The next one is another women's match, and again, it's not their fault. They weren't ready. They were still in wrestling school. This is on their rookie show. They were on live television doing this, Dan. They were not ready for this match. They were still wrestling school. I can't emphasize enough that they should not have been in this position. Kaitlin versus Maxine, and you said, who the fuck is Maxine? Exactly the problem.
I know who Kaitlin is. I don't know who Maxine is.
Caitlin's claim to fame was that she accidentally won the Divas Championship and they had to call an audible, and she had a 120-day reign because of it.
And she was bad.
It was
her finisher was a spear, wasn't it?
It was kind of a spear, and then I think it was, and she beat Eve Torres by accident. Eve was supposed to hold it on for longer until Paige and AJ started doing their thing, because just before Paige was called up too.
Right. Yeah.
So Kaitlin got lost in the shuffle soon after this. Now, what do you remember of Kaitlin versus Maxine?
So, I remember two things. One, they're supposed NXT pros because they were doing this weird thing where the women on the people on NXT with the rookies on NXT would have a WWE pro who would mentor them.
Because this was still the game show era. The NXT before NXT had an official show. This was like the beginning of their show, but they still did the game show era. It was before they legitimately had wrestling instead of just like doing random shit like do a promo on the spot. These people are like fresh in wrestling school. Most of them are not ready to be wrestlers, and they had them on live television instead of in the Performance Center, which they do now.
So they had these two mentors, if you will, standing on the apron,
mic'd up,
entire match with mics on. With mics on.
Vicky Guerrero bitching about her fucking sweater the entire match.
It was so bad.
While on the apron talking to Kaitlin.
On the apron talking to Kaitlin, yes.
And Alicia Fox for Maxine. Who I don't think said a damn thing.
I don't think Alicia Fox said anything.
And she had a mic. She was just there for no reason.
Which, by the way, there's history between the two of them.
Maxine and Alicia?
No, between Alicia and Vicky. Because Edge cheated on Vicky with Alicia Fox. That was how Alicia Fox was introduced to WWE audiences.
No wonder she drank.
Was as Edge's side piece.
No wonder Alicia Fox drank, that poor woman.
Yeah, she was Edge's side piece. That's what she was. And she would later become Divas champion.
I think Alicia Fox also started off as like an NBA cheerleader.
I think so, yeah.
So she had an athletic background at least, but still wasn't very good in the ring. And this is before they even focused on trying to train them.
Yeah, but the other thing I remember about this match is the commentary. The team of Josh Matthews and Michael Cole. But
it was just Josh Matthews.
yeah. Josh Matthews, who was supposed to be the most, like, babyface, like, nice guy ever.
Yeah.
Shit's all over this. He's, like, he doesn't call the match.
He was, like,
kind of talking, like, about nothing.
He said, and I quote, "This is awful, Michael." To Cole.
Yeah. And speaking of
2 minutes in, he's like, "This is awful. They shouldn't be out there."
And speaking
on television.
And speaking of Michael Cole, by the way, Cole leaves the commentary desk and takes a phone call.
He says, "I can't stand this anymore." Gets up. You audibly hear him throw his headphones off, and you hear him on the phone talking to his mom.
He takes a call from his mom.
He's like, "Hey, Mom." He's like legitimately on the phone.
He literally is on the phone with his mother.
And he's like, "Is it over yet?" But he comes back from the phone call.
It's still going.
These poor women.
How long did this match go? It went like at least 6 minutes.
It was like 3 to 4 minutes. It was like 4 minutes long. It wasn't long. Yeah.
It felt like 20.
And Kaitlin, because Vince McMahon thought she was fat, had to wrestle in a sweater.
Yes, she wrestled in a sweater because Vince McMahon thought she was overweight.
She had ring gear on underneath.
Yeah.
Because she took it off after.
Yeah.
And apparently the whole thing was that, like, it was... I looked into it. It's good luck from Vicky Guerrero. It was a good luck charm from Vicky Guerrero.
That was the story going into it?
Of that sweater, yes.
Did Vicky Guerrero really have any good luck?
She never wrestled.
She did a couple times.
But she's not a wrestler.
No.
She was just married into a famous Hispanic family.
Yeah.
Which is fine. She has experience in that regard, being like... she was Eddie's actual manager. Like, financially and all that stuff, like booking and stuff like that. She was Eddie's actual manager, so she has experience.
She was good in her on-screen, like, authority.
She's good at being an annoying bitch.
Yeah, that was her thing.
She was very good at doing that.
Yeah.
But in this role, this was like, go away Vicky Guerrero at this point.
Yes. Well, because it was around the time she started dating Dolph Ziggler, and it was like the worst thing ever. Like, and you're sitting there going like, this is killing Dolph's career.
And then somehow he went on for another 15 years.
Yeah. He's still going now. He, like, didn't he get a shot at the X Division title?
Yeah, he did.
Or was it the world title he got a shot at?
World title.
He didn't win.
And he also had opportunities against Steve Macklin, who was a recent champion for them too. So he had some pretty marquee matches in TNA going in there because he was their big draw. He wanted to be the big fish in a smaller pond and see what he could do.
Yeah, and it's better for him.
It's been better for him under his real name too.
I only remember those two things from the whole match: the fact that the two of them were stood on the apron with mics on the entire match, and the fact that the lack of coherent commentary.
And I still have to look. Here's the thing: there was 2 different Maxines at some point before Maxine Dupree. So there's actually been 3 Maxines in the last 10 years, and 1 Oksana, and they're all the same. I swear to God. They're the same person.
Yeah.
Because like you were like, is that Oksana? I'm like, no, different person. I'm gonna find her too. I'm gonna try to see it goes right to the only half decent one they had.
Yeah, it goes right to Maxine Dupree
because she only had like 1 match, so like she's barely even known on this. There we go, Katarina. So Maxine in WB eventually went on to do something a bit better for herself. She went to Lucha Underground and she went into a valet manager role instead.
Yeah,
which is way better for her. It just wasn't good. Like she had 2 years at NXT, and that was it. That was pretty much all her career at that point for WWE. She wasn't good. She asked to be released because she quit. I wonder why.
Yeah,
I mean. No, it was. I feel bad for like this. How much potential talent did we lose because they just didn't know how to use them or train them? It's
so many.
It's catastrophic.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, we're gonna download this after this, and I'm gonna break it up into YouTube videos. We'll have a bit more stuff into it for that, and we're gonna continue this series because we have a lot. This is not even all of them. This is just what we have so far. People will give us suggestions over time, and we'll get more.
Oh yeah.
So the next 2 on the docket are probably gonna be ones that are even worse than we just saw. There was a feud in wrestling featuring Donald Trump and Vince McMahon. And one of the first matches of that was on Raw. It was a fake Donald Trump facing a fake Rosie O'Donnell on live television.
Wasn't Trump played by an actual wrestler?
Ace Steel.
Who's friends with Punk.
He's Punk's trainer even.